Okay, let's talk some football.
Woohoo!
Lord, hallelujah.
Bye-bye,
Let's start
Florida
with
State.
the college ranks.
Bye-bye, Florida State.
Florida State
Couldn't happen to a better team.
Yeah. There goes the ACC's hope.
Help. Yep. Bye-bye, LSU.
Yeah. LSU. Let's talk.
Bye-bye,
LSU.
TCU.
TCU, LSU.
Texas.
Ohio State just put a
Georgia.
beat down on my boys, Texas.
Wait,
Now-
Ohio State beat Texas? No, West Virginia beat Texas. Ohio.
My boy. Did I say Texas?
Yes.
I meant on my boys, Nebraska. I don't know why I said Texas. I was looking at the notes here.
Nebraska took it on the chin.
What was the
And Cal
most?
beat UCLA.
Who was the most impressive team this week in college football to you? I know who I'm going to say right away.
I do too.
Who?
WVU.
Oh, I forgot about them boys.
For me, it's just and the reason I'm not impressed with their defense. Don't get me wrong, and they still have a long road to hoe. But they just went into the Big 12 and played the perennial. We're not doing anything in this conference unless Texas says so.
And I was one that said they weren't doing. Remember, I straight up said I got to take my fucking the shit out of my mouth because I said they're going to get spanked when they go to Texas.
Not even close. Not
The
even
problem-
close. You can't stop West Virginia from scoring.
No.
That's the problem.
And I'm going to tell you what, Geno Smith.
That's a bad motherfucker.
He's a bad motherfucker. Even when he's bad, he's a bad motherfucker. That's a bad motherfucker. Okay, because he didn't have the best game, but he still had like what 4 TDs.
Yeah, he's good. And here's the thing.
That boy good.
Yes. And here's the thing that West Virginia, one of the benefits to moving to the Big 12 from the Big East is now when West Virginia loses, let's say they would have lost against Texas. First off, they would have stayed in the top 25 because now let's go back to put them in the Big East. If they'd have lost to Pitt, if they'd have lost to Connecticut, if they'd have lost to any of those even marginally okay, they're done.
And
it kills them.
Even if they were in the Big East and they played Texas and they lost to them, they'd still be fucked because the rest of their schedule is so
weak.
easy.
So this does nothing but benefit them. But also, I'm going to say West Virginia is 1, but my 1A squad is South Carolina. South Carolina is not – that kid Lattimore.
Those motherfuckers have some speed. I mean, them little motherfuckers like these. That's what I'm talking about. Shit. Anyway, South Carolina looked impressive on both sides of the ball. Now, I'm going to tell you something else that looked pretty impressive to me.
Notre Dame?
Yeah. They look good,
that
too.
Linebacker they have, number 5, Teo Manahali. He is 6'2", 255. He is nasty.
The thing that's exciting about college football this year is that there's just so many new teams just kind of poking their heads in there. Now, Florida, who's been around for a while, played LSU. Now, the thing that impressed me...
like something at a gangbang. You know, it's something really great about a gangbang? Everyone gets to poke their head in there.
That's right. What's it called? A bukkake?
Bukkake? Bukkake is not a gangbang.
I know, but it's like...
Yeah.
Close enough. Anyway, Florida. This is what I got from the Florida LSU game, okay? This is the thing, and it wasn't so much about LSU as so much that I was very impressed with Florida with. Florida only gave up 6 points to LSU, and they had 2 turnovers.
Mettenberger's garbage is what it amounts to.
In the red zone.
LSU's quarterback, Zach Mettenberger, you are poop.
Yeah, man.
Hot garbage.
But Florida's got a stingy ass defense.
Yeah, Florida, and they got a nasty running game, but
they
still
do. You
still got to play through the SEC. They're still going to have to beat South Carolina. So I wish you the best.
Next week, I think South Carolina plays who? They play LSU, I believe.
Yes, it does.
I think they do. South Carolina has 3 more games. Three more games that are really. I think this is the next 3 games in their schedule, and I don't know if you want to pull that up, but if they get through those 3 games, they got a very good chance of fucking. They're definitely going to go on their side in the SEC, and they got a very good chance to run at the national.
Yeah, they play at LSU at 8 p.m.
Yeah, and they've got a pretty tough schedule now. I know Florida has a tough game.
And then they play at Florida.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see what happens. So South Carolina's got it tough. Florida's got it tough. Florida's going to have to. They play at Vanderbilt.
But the funny thing about Florida is this: once Florida has, I think, a game, they have in 2 weeks. They have a game.
They play Georgia. They play at Vanderbilt. They play home versus South Carolina, and then they play at Georgia.
At Georgia. After they have the game at Georgia, I know I'm filling you up. After they have the game at Georgia, the rest of their games they never leave the state of Florida.
That's nice.
Yeah, so they're going to be good. If they can get past the next 3 weeks, then they'll be in Florida.
Oh,
either
shit.
at home or what?
They play University of Louisiana, Lafayette.
Yeah, they might not be able to pull that one
Jacksonville
off.
State. I'm assuming that's what JV State means.
I don't know. It's too many fucking letters for me.
Oh,
but
they play at Florida State last game of the season. Think about it. If Florida goes undefeated and they lose to Florida State, that would suck.
So now, another big upset, like we said at the beginning of the show, Florida State was down by NC State.
Do you know what Florida State's road record is since bringing Jimbo Fisher in?
What is it?
7-5.
Yeah, it's not too
good.
They
do not do well away from home.
That's not getting it done.
Like we said, if they lose one game, it's done because their schedule is that weak.
Yeah. It's nobody else that's going to be able to, if you had another formidable opponent in the ACC.
Don't.
But they don't. Anyway, we're going to roll out of college football. We're going to run right into fucking professional football because there's a lot to talk about.
Hey, who am I?
RG3.
I'm Batman.
Now, I'm going to start off with a fucking... George and I were talking before the camera came on, and I said, you know what the thing is? The fucking thing, and George said, that is driving me crazy are all you motherfuckers that are out there saying, RG3, if he keeps running, he's going to get killed. And the Shanahans. Look, man, if you watch the game the other day, RG3 ran twice. He went around on a bootleg. The play went bust. He went to the sidelines. Then the second time, the motherfucker was snoring. But they're not running them. When you have fucking a running back who is one of the best running backs in the league right now, who's getting over 100 yards a game, you don't need the running, and he's a pocket passer. Everybody seems to think you haven't seen him run the option play in a couple games, and people are still saying that shit. Get off it. If you looked at any quarterback in the NFL this weekend, they probably ran twice. Am I wrong? Yeah. Think it's the Shanahan's fault? No. Was it the Shanahan's fault when John Elway dived for that fucking touchdown and he flew like a twin? No.
Go get him, Joe.
Get over it, motherfuckers. It was a mild concussion. 10 years ago, George, if someone had a mild concussion, it would have been like this. I've been like this. George, go on and win it for us, champ.
And you know what? 10 years ago, his career might be cut 2 to 3 years short.
Yeah.
And he's still got to pass his test.
Right.
And like I told Kevin, if I'm Shanahan, hey, Kirk, why don't you get some reps with that first team, bud? Because the insurance policy, I think, is going to pay off. And like I said, we have a over-under on 10 games, I think, right? For how many games RG3 plays? You said over, I said under.
Now, what do you consider?
Playing 10. No, he plays starting. Like, he starts 10 games. Yeah. That's what I mean.
So he's played 5.
Okay.
Yeah. We had an over-under. You said...
I thought about that.
10 is a bust, right?
10's a push.
10's a push. If he starts, over 10 games, then I win.
Because seriously, now they're going to play some defenses. And now they're going to play in the NFC East.
Right.
And this kid's never played in the NFC East. And I don't care what anyone says. When you play your own division, shit changes.
Right. And George made a good point before we started filming. It's like, hey, you know what? The thing is, when you have a guy like RG3 and he's so fucking elusive and you get frustrated and you're a defensive player, you're like, I want to take this fucking kid's head off. That becomes your fucking mission. To the point where sometimes you blow assignments. But I mean, they're going to be gunning for him. And it's not just him, it's any quarterback that's doing shit. That's why Vic is getting hammered all the time.
Basically what I said, anyone who's ever played football or anyone ever played a sport where you're chasing a guy and chasing a guy and chasing a guy. And let's face it, if you go back and look at the play RG3 got hurt on, he shouldn't even have been hit. Yeah. Not by the guy who made the hit. Yeah. Because he slid. And once a quarterback slides feet first, you're technically not allowed to hit him. Yeah. But let me tell you right now, that was the third quarter?
Yeah.
I've been chasing you for how long? Yeah. You've been dumping the ball over my head. You've been doing screens. I've been play action. Mm-hmm. And he took a chance. And I told Kevin, if I'm a defender, all day, every day.
Perfect hit, perfect timing. If it was a second later, he would have got a personal foul, but he still fucked him up. Yeah. But I mean,
and unfortunately, the other quarterback that got hurt this weekend was Matt Castle.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate that he got hurt, but it's even more unfortunate that his own fans cheered.
His fans are shit, man. I mean,
James, what's wrong?
James, man, you got to talk to them people in Kansas City, man.
And here's the thing. You think Brady Quinn's the answer?
Yeah.
He's played on more teams than I have fingers.
Yeah, pretty much. So I mean, it was a wild week in the NFL. The Colts, Andrew Luck is looking better and better. I'm
gonna tell you right now, Minnesota might be the team to beat coming out. Minnesota does not give a shit. Ponder doesn't care because no one's talking about Ponder.
He's so fucking athletic, man. I mean, you saw it last year. We saw it last year. We said that when we did our Young Guns or whatever, but we didn't think that he would do this good. We also kind of cut short Tannehill. We thought as George is still doing, but. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, man. The way the game is played in college now with these spread offenses and stuff and these young quarterbacks learning how to make adjustments and going no huddle and everything, when they come into the NFL, they can fucking play now.
Now, do you think it's the offenses in college that are influencing the NFL, or the NFL that's influencing college?
Oh, it's the first time in the history of the game that college is starting to influence the NFL, and you never saw that. And remember, like three.
You want to know why? You want to know why I think why, and I'm cutting you off? Because I would say the average age of an offensive coordinator in the NFL is probably between 50 and 60 years old. Yeah. Those motherfuckers are old. Yep. They're crusty. Yep. They still think Vince Lombardi is Jesus. Now when you go down to college, you have a 30-something-year-old offensive coordinator who's trying to get seen, who wants to be a head coach, who's trying to come up with innovative new looks, new formations, new motions, new plays.
Right.
I'm glad the NFL is finally starting to wake up and pay attention.
And it was funny because you've seen how much in college, how high the games are such high-scoring games, and now you're seeing it's going right over into the NFL. I mean, it's just passing crazy points. And 3 weeks ago, we sat here, and I was like, yeah, the fucking Shanahan's took some Baylor's plays, and you're like, you looked at me like I was crazy.
I thought that was more of a slight on the quarterback.
Right. But
now
it's now you're seeing it. It's like they're like, hey, you know what? This worked in college. It's working in the pros. We'll do it. And you're going to see more and more of it. The game is just changing. It's exciting because
I mean, if you look, let's look at just an idea. Some of the scores. I mean, Chicago put up 41 points. Mm-hmm. Minnesota put up 30 points. I mean, lots of teams scored a shit ton of points. I mean, it's an impressive. Like New England, Denver combined 52 points. Minnesota dropped 30. New Orleans scored 31 and beat Phillip Rivers, which absolutely made my entire weekend. Yeah. San Francisco scored 45. Chicago scored 41. Green Bay, Indianapolis scored 57 between the two teams. I mean, very few. Like Baltimore might be the last of a dying breed. They played in a 9-6 game.
Yeah.
I mean, these defense
you and I'm gonna tell you what, man. You nailed it. You called Jamal Charles. You was like, Jamal Charles was one of your top running backs.
Charles.
I
think he has an R.
Jamal Charles.
There you go.
Jamal
Charles.
That
boy Charles good.
That boy Charles can run. But Charles has been on fire. And I said that I thought
he lit up the Baltimore defense.
What's that guy from Tennessee, the running back? Chris Johnson?
Yeah. Got his contract. Ain't done shit since.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard, but this was a fucked up story. Did you hear about the Bears fan?
Yeah.
That's some fucked up
But here's
shit.
the thing. What I hate to think is the way that story and that headline reads is they're trying to sensationalize the fact that he was a Bears fan. So I'm reading the thing thinking, man, this dude mouthed off to the wrong person and no. Did you read the article?
Yeah.
He got caught talking to this dude's wife, and he got his throat slit while the dude straight up creeped. Like, his wife was in the restaurant talking to this dude while her husband was in the back playing fucking Jack the Ripper, fucking just going,
yeah.
Walks up with a pocket knife and cuts him from ear to ear.
And he did it. He just went, whoop, and killed him and walked out in a jealous rage.
That had nothing to do with being a Bears fan.
No,
and it had nothing to do with being a Jacksonville fan. No. So that bothers me. That really, and that's media's problem. You're trying to sensationalize the fact that this guy was a Bears fan.
Well, do you think they were just trying to sensationalize the fact that, hey, he was a Bears fan that traveled all the way to Jacksonville for the game only to get,
How many people got killed in Chicago over the summer? How many people? Dude, it set records. Like close to 100. Close to 100 murders this summer.
It must have been a lot the way you're talking.
How many people got killed this weekend in D.C.? Why don't we hear about that?
Yeah.
Like look, it's unfortunate. I feel bad for his wife. I feel bad for the kids. But that dude was the guy who killed him. Didn't kill him because he was wearing a Bears uniform. And it's unfortunate that guy worked so hard to make this money to go on this trip because he couldn't see a Bears game at home. So he felt the need to go all the way to Jacksonville. I just have a problem with the way the media is reporting the story. That's it. It's fucked up. Don't get me wrong. Anyone who gets killed, especially over some bullshit like that.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. And that guy, like the victim's wife said, is a fucking idiot. I mean, just to come out and do that. I mean, it doesn't matter what the circumstances was. You got to learn how to keep your fucking cool.
I love my girl, but I'm not going to cut some dude's throat
because some jealous fucking rage.
Because she's talking to another dude. Like, that's not... Come on.
That dude's got some issues. But anyway, we're getting the fuck out of Dodge. Take your asses over to phosphorwatches.com and get some free...
You might as well blaze the video.
Yeah.
And then
you blaze it.
And put in Kevin 30 when you go to look at the watches and realize you just saved yourself $30.
$30 from an already affordable watch. I mean, what the hell? Do we have to do it for you guys? Because I ain't coming out of my pocket for a watch for you. Yeah, we'll spend it. We just won't buy a watch for you. Anyway, we're out.
Just blaze it and win one.
Yeah, peace.
All right, bye.